Beautiful. We are back from that amazing song break with Sita Sahau by Kestin Bongo. That song is powerful. May we never forget the Lord's benefits into our lives so that we can also extend the same to others. So at this moment, we're going to get into the newspapers. So join us even as we look into the world in Kenya and beyond just to understand what is happening all around us.
Right, we start off with the Daily Nation. The
Yes.
headline, bribes to clear rogue doctors. The ultimatum, the Medics Union has demanded immediate dissolution of the council because of this scandal. The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council is tasked with carrying out impartial investigations into complaints of negligence following the death or maiming of patients. But the regulator is now facing accusations of demanding bribes with errant doctors who play ball, getting away with a slap on the wrist as families are left to wait for elusive justice. It's a story that is covered on pages 2 and 3 inside the Daily Nation, and the council is committed to upholding the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in regulating the medical and dental professions in Kenya. We take all allegations seriously and strive to ensure fair processes for all parties involved. That is Dr. David Kariuki, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. That is a story, and I know families that are indeed waiting for that elusive justice, even as these very serious allegations are being made that the very body that is supposed to ensure justice is actually letting go of some of these rogue doctors with a slap on the wrist, so that you can get on pages 2 and 3. Still on the front page, there's a photo here of President Ruto and former President William, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, facing off. And they say 2027 race, Ruto Uhuru season 2 duel unfolds. That is what they are reporting. President William Ruto's allies are linking his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta to growing opposition to his government, suggesting the 2027 general election could set up a replay of their rivalries in the last polls. Dr. Ruto's camp believe Mr. Kenyatta is assembling a coalition against his re-election, citing the installation of Kalonzo Musyoka as Azimio party leader to replace Raila Odinga, who died last October, and Fred Matiang'i as Jubilee deputy leader. They also see his hand in the faction wars engulfing ODM. That's a story that is covered on page 7 of the Nation. And then polls, rival coalitions lock horns in 4 by-elections today. Mini polls in Isiolo, Kakamega, and Embu test political alliances, voter loyalty, and party strength ahead of the general election next year. The contests involve the Isiolo South parliamentary seat and 3 ward races. That's on page 17. Then education, safety, quality fears as national schools struggle with congestion. Principals of Cluster 1 senior schools, formerly known as national schools, have been accused of admitting learners far beyond their declared capacities. So that is transition from from junior to senior schools, and it's covered on page 4 inside the Daily Nation. And to some politics here, opposition's Gusii declaration. United opposition leaders Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Fred Matiang'i vow to stick together to unseat Ruto, deliver change. It's a story that is covered on page 6 inside the Daily Nation.
All right, beautiful. And I'm going to look at the Standard. And the top page here is RSF passport shame. That is what is being reported. It goes ahead to tell us that a diplomatic storm is brewing after the U.S. sanctioned Algoni Hamdan Daglo Musa, younger brother of RSF Commander Mohammed Hamadan Dagalo, for alleged genocide, weapons procurement, and financing paramilitary operations in Sudan. Goes ahead to say that shockingly, U.S. records show he holds a Kenyan passport, raising questions about how a warlord secured the official document. The revelation threatens to intensify scrutiny over Kenya's past engagements with the RSF. This is a story that has been covered. And also, they've noted here that President William Ruto with RSF's General Mohammed Hamadan Dagalo at State House. This was in 2024, a picture that has been put there. And of course, the passport here, even with the passport number, well publicized. The question is, how did this person actually get a Kenyan passport? So that is a story that has been reported that is on the Standard newspaper this wonderful morning. And of course, more stories here. I'm seeing there's there's now the content creators are doing quite a lot, because it's saying here that a series of viral street videos involving a foreign national referred to as the Russian guy and young Kenyan women has sparked debate about dignity, consent, and exploitation. While adults argue online, teenagers are watching and absorbing lessons, whether we intend them or not to. And I think this opens our eyes to the world we are living in right now, and why we need to be very careful. Nowadays, when you go to the streets of Nairobi, people are recording left, right, and center, trying to win the numbers on their TikTok accounts and get the money and do all these things, but at the expense and at the cost of dignity, even for our women. So it's quite interesting, and it's a call to parents, definitely, to be keen about what their children are viewing on social media or the trends they're jumping on.
True. Business Daily.
Yes.
Worst ministries, agencies in supplier payments revealed. State Department, IEBC, National Land Commission can't pay over 135 billion shillings. Nairobi is unable to settle 72% of 83 billion shillings pending bills. And then police denied insurance compensation after 2 billion shillings default. That's also on the front page and page 2. And pressure piles on Treasury over infrastructure fund. Chinese farm lines up 2 billion shillings copper mining plant in Makueni, and the CBK bond sales to limit upward rates pressure. That's also on the Business Daily, and you can get that and much more in the dailies this morning. And also, let's continue as believers to pray for our nation and the well-being of our nation. Right about now, it is time for the video of the day.
All right.